Hello, nicotine warriors. I'm coming to you today from the office to talk to you about nicotine dosage for beginners. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you believe in health freedom and you might have been left for dead by the Western medical system. And I know you're looking at me and I know what you're thinking. This guy just walked straight out of the lab. He walked out of his office. He traded his white lab coat for some denim to come across as just another lay person. And he's in cahoots with Big Pharma and he's about to sell me a lie of false information. And I'm here to tell you that is in fact not the case. This might shock you, but I am not a board certified medical professional. Who I am is a grown-up Make-A-Wish kid. 21 years ago, I went to Disney World in a wheelchair. That trip was almost a year after I attempted to take my life at 10 years old because I was so torturously overwhelmed and hopeless from chronic Lyme disease. I was born out of medical malpractice. I was born premature. I was extremely ill throughout my childhood. And I lived a very broken, depressed, sedentary life of overwhelming despair and anxiety and horrific thoughts, wondering what my life would be like if I continued down the path of decline I was on. Now, I believe that all healing comes directly from God. And when I went on my Make-A-Wish trip, it gave me hope for the future and healing. So I've done over 27 years of treatments. My family spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on most modalities that anyone can think of. So that is the perspective from which I operate when I talk about holistic health. And today I'm going to talk to you about nicotine, because chances are you want to know, how do you start? What dosage should you start with? So to begin with, that's the patch that I use, the Tolevita anti-smoke patch. This is the patch that I've found success with. I'm still experimenting. As a trained herbalist, I prefer something that has a whole plant extract, which is what Tolevita has. It's a tobacco extract mixed with other essential oils that create a synergistic effect that I find to be quite effective. Now, if you are brand new to nicotine in general, and specifically transdermal patches, that is, absorbing through the skin, there are some basics you need to know. And you also need to operate with common sense. Now, some of you are old enough to remember that back in the day, if a strict father caught his son sneaking a cigarette, he may punish that child by forcing him to smoke an entire pack.
I tell you what, start puffing, boy. We got to get through 200 of these.
Now, what would result from this? Some of you can remember these stories. Maybe some of you experienced it yourself. The kid would smoke the pack, and probably before he got through all 20 of those cigarettes, he would get violently ill. He would get dizzy, nauseous. He'd feel overstimulated. Those are the basic effects of nicotine overdose. And if you jump into nicotine therapy, you are going to have a similar reaction if you do not obey a general rule. That general rule is start low and go slow.
You see? Slow, like that.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me show you one more time.
You do not want to rush your way into this, and if you do, you will likely be dizzy and vomiting, because that is a basic effect of too much nicotine too fast.
Come on, only 1 pack left.
I think I'm gonna barf.
That's what I wanted to hear. Good job, son. When you're finished, you want to get that with a hose?
And that's not even getting into the fundamentals of how nicotine works as a detoxification stimulant, which it does very powerfully. Brief interjection of this video to say, if you have found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button. That allows me to reach more people and help them in their holistic health endeavors. Please give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That helps me. I look forward to meeting you guys in the comments section. Don't hold back. So, as you start with nicotine, if you do not have a tolerance, if you have never used a nicotine product in the past, such as smoking, you are going to want to start very low. Dr. Bryan Ardis, who is a personal hero of mine with his work in the field of nicotine and beyond, he recommends that the average person starts with 3.5 milligrams. The easiest way to achieve this is to buy a 7 milligram patch and cut it in half. Now the box may say, do not cut. You're going to ignore that. You're going to do it anyway. You're going to cut that shit up like Edward Scissorhands.
It's out of here. It's history.
Cut it into the dose you want, and then you're going to apply it to your skin. Now, various patches have various ingredients. There's different adhesives. There's different materials that they are made from. A quick general rule, if I were to apply a patch onto my arm, which is a frequent place for me, I would take a paper towel. I would take rubbing alcohol. I would apply the rubbing alcohol to the paper towel and I would scrub my skin with it. Now, if you have not exfoliated your skin, that is going to be, dead skin will be a barrier to absorption. And if you have recently exfoliated your skin, you will absorb things faster. By the way, if you're watching this and you would like a discount on a Tolevita product or on the NicNac lozenges that I choose to put in my own mouth, that's how much I trust it, look in the comments and I will have a 10% off link for both. It's good for me, it's good for you, it's good for everyone. Thank you. So what I choose to do is I take the rubbing alcohol, I remove the surface oils of my skin for maximum adhesion, I apply the patch. Tends to stick pretty well unless I'm doing a physical activity and sweating. If you were curious about patch placement, you should watch my other video on strategic placement for maximum benefit and relief, because you can use these patches in a multitude of ways. If you are unfamiliar with the fundamentals of detox in general, it is very important that you watch my other video on that subject. If you do not know what a Herxheimer reaction is and how to recognize and mitigate it through the main pathways of detoxification, it is important that you learn that. To be brief, those pathways are defecation, urination. Actually, let's switch those around. Number 1, urination. Number 2, defecation. Number 3, exfoliation. Number 4, respiration. Number 5 is perspiration. So your skin's very important, and if you're doing transdermal applications of medicine, you're going to be paying attention to your skin, okay? And it is common to have breakouts of pimples, boils, rashes, blisters, things of those nature. I have experienced all of those myself, and that is a signal to go even slower if you cannot tolerate the pace that you're approaching nicotine with. Now, I'm not even going to get into oral nicotine because I have a nicotine lozenge in my mouth at this exact moment with this right here, NicNac Naturals, which is the only lozenge I will put in my mouth because it does not have any of the harsh ingredients that are put into the pouches, such as Zyn, which is incredibly popular, especially among the young folk. So I will get into that another time. So, if you are in a delicate medical situation, if you are sensitive to stimulants, if you know that you avoid caffeine, you need to understand that nicotine is a very powerful central nervous system stimulant. Now, if I told you that coffee had health benefits, and if Dr. Bryan Ardis said, hey, coffee's really good for you, you should drink some coffee, would you go to Starbucks and order a quadruple shot espresso? Would you slam that thing and then just like drink some more willy-nilly with no caffeine tolerance? Most people would not. And if they would get very ill, they would have diarrhea, they would get very anxious because they would be overdriving their system with a powerful natural stimulant. For most people, that is common sense. But with nicotine, it seems that for a lot of people, common sense goes out the window. They just throw that shit away and they don't recover it. So I'm encouraging you, go retrieve your common sense, think about things critically, and understand that all of this is individual. It's all personal experimentation. What works for me in my very extreme health history that I've had after doing decades of treatments and cleanses and different supplements may not work the same for you. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to be patient and gentle with yourself.
When's this thing supposed to kick in? It's not working. It's broken.
And I encourage you, develop your intuition, your discernment, which I'm pointing to my head, but within Eastern traditions, discernment would often come from right here, what's known as the third eye, which I believe God gave all of us basic abilities to tap into energy, tap into what's truly going on beyond the basic five senses so that we can discern things for ourselves. It doesn't matter what the fuck I say to you, it matters what you say to yourself. So take that into consideration as you endeavor in nicotine for healing. Start low, go slow. If you are compromised with toxins, if you are sensitive in general, if you are in a delicate medical situation, there is no such thing as a dose that is too small. Some people start with a portion of a single milligram. You're going to have to cut those patches up really, really small.
History!
Now, if you have genetic mutation that results in poor methylation, such as the MTHFR mutation, aka the motherfucker gene, you're going to have to take that into consideration. That is not my field of specialty. There are groups dedicated to that. If you are interested in joining a community of like-minded people who are prioritizing health freedom and people who are seeking to achieve victorious vitality, join my Facebook group. You can ask me questions directly and connect with others. There are practitioners from around the world in that group, and those people have a lot of good things to offer. I likely do not have the answer to everything, not even close, but there are people who will be able to give feedback on your specific situation. And if you share your story and you ask questions openly, chances are you'll connect with someone that'll have information to offer to you. Hey ladies, please share this with the men in your life. One of my biggest passions with holistic health is men's health and boosting testosterone. And for whatever reason, 82% of my Facebook group and my YouTube viewership is female. I want to reach more men. I only do one-on-one consultations with men and with couples. If you are endeavoring in health by yourself as a woman who's in partnership, if your man is not on board with you and supporting you, you will have a very hard time getting well. Just straight up. So get your partner on board. Please share my video with the dudes. Thank you. So, all things considered, I will repeat it one more time to really drive it home. Start low, go slow.
Slow.
Once you've eased your way in, you feel grounded and balanced, then you can bump up your dose. General rule is wait a week at a certain dose. See how you do. If you get overstimulated, if you feel anxious, nauseous, dizzy, etc., you're gonna peel that bitch off.
Oh, you!
Peel it off. You're gonna stop. You're gonna do some deep breathing. You should consume some sugar in the form of your choice, whether it's honey or actual sugar or candy or whatever you have on hand, because that is an old school cigar smoker trick for mitigating nicotine sickness. Again, you don't want to become the kid who smoked a whole pack of cigarettes and is out on the lawn puking like Bobby Hill in King of the Hill. So, I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel because that helps support me to help other people on their healing journeys. I wish you well in your healing endeavors. Let's get victorious vitality.